Yo, what up, party people? What's good? We're in it. We're live. Walking into the studio live. What up, Bochinche Sessions? Yo, it's that crazy Wi-Fi thing. Can't get online. Blah blah blah. Woo woo woo. But we're here. We're in the studio, regulating, taking it for real. What up, party people? I am 5 minutes late. I apologize, but we are in it. I'm getting it right in. I'm getting it right in. Where's Gettoblaster? We're going to go right in. We are going in. Go live. Not messing around. What up with the red and white Puma joint? You know what I mean? Boom! Yo,
Hey,
it's one of those things, man. Like I've been trying to get online for like 5 minutes.
what's up, man? How are you?
Gettoblaster in the house. PA, what up? What up?
What up? What's good?
Gammon over here. I was chilling in the studio. I had to light up. I'm gonna light up. I'm letting you know right now.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, no, you're good. Hold on.
Well, you better say shit.
All right, here we go.
My friend, since we were teenagers, people don't know our story, bro. They don't know how connected we are, man.
Oh shit, we go all the way back to when you were at Jumpin' Music.
So do you mind if we like take it there? Like we're gonna chill. You know what it is, just when you and I talk on the phone.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Missy, what up? I see she's in the building.
Hell yeah.
Miss HOUSC, I was watching the video. I saw the video about 4 or 5 times right now, and I was just like, you guys look so good.
Oh, thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
We're gonna talk about that too.
Awesome. Hell yeah. That was our first music video we ever shot. So it was pretty fun.
Let's go into it then. Okay, so first of all, people need to know that you've been doing this for a minute, like a long time. You're an accomplished DJ, record store, a vet. When I say DJ, I mean you spin, you scratch, you do what we do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird because Gettoblaster, in the sense of the public, is like a new thing. Like people think of that as only like 5 years old, but it was rebranding 3 different times. Like you said, I've been in the game since the 90s, but I've went through 3-4 decades of music now. You know what I mean? So like at around 2014, me and Zach were in Miami and we needed a change, bro. It was just like we were doing the same shit for so long. My dad used to have this saying, if you stand in a puddle of water long enough, you're going to have web feet. So like we just kind of felt like we were doing the same shit over and over. And it started veering away a little too far from what we wanted to do initially in dance music. And that was house music. When I first got into this shit, it was about house music. And then came like electro, and then like when I was the Funk Monkeys, we were doing some disco house. We had a record on Subliminal Records. We did all this different shit.
So people know you were also Funk Monkeys. It wasn't just I mean you've done your discography's tight, dude.
Yeah, there's Paul Anthony, there's the Funk Monkeys, there's the 40-ounce Prophets. I mean, bro, that was a whole era that I did for like 8 months. I said I could make trap music. I signed a record to Diplo's Mad Decent. Then I did a remix for Deadmau5 that hit #1 on Beatport, stayed there for a year. Like I did a bunch of shit, you know what I mean? Like, like I said, we go all the way back, to back in the days. Me and you talk about this. I mean, people don't even understand like how far back, like we sold mixtapes, bro. Like I sold 120,000 mixtapes during the rave days. You know what I mean? So like, that's just a whole different era that people nowadays don't even understand that or know what that's about, really. It doesn't exist right now. You know what I mean? Like, people don't know what it's like to pull up the Jumpin' Music and bring a big box of tapes out and be like, yo, you guys want me? You're like, yeah, I'll take 200. I'm like, all right, cool, boom. Like, wholesale them, like, out of your trunk. People don't even get that. You know what I mean? They don't understand what that hustle is. But I'll tell you what, I missed that hustle, though, because that was an easy couple $100,000.
We talking, dude, mixtapes. Dude, you just said some names. Funk Monkeys, 40 Ounce, Diplo, Deadmau5. Now, you went from one style of music to be able to translate it to different styles. You even said trap, you know what I mean? You got some trap in there. How were you able to do all of that shit? I mean, there's some people will get stuck in one genre and stay there the whole life and still not make it. I mean,
right. And
how
I've made it in multiple genres, but it just, when you start realizing it, it's like, that doesn't do it for me. Like the trap music, bro. Like literally, I had 13 records, and all 13 records hit the top 10, and one hit number one for 16 weeks on Beatport, and literally for 372 days was in the top 100 on Beatport. It was like the biggest trap record that year. But like, bro, I don't want to be stuck playing trap music. That's just not, I mean, it's cool, but that's not what I'm in this for. If I was in this to get a paycheck, I'd be making pop music. I don't want to do that. That's not what I'm into. I like house music. I like keeping in grassroots. I don't want to be commercial, but if my records go from the underground to commercial, hey man, so be it. I can't stop a record from getting popular, but that's not my motive. Money is not my goal. Like fame is not my goal. If that shit comes with it, cool. But I'm not going in. I'm going to make a hit record. I want to make a good record that I want to play. Like I was in Miami in 2014. It was me, Zach, Skip, and Steve, who you had on the show last week, sitting on Ocean Drive. And we were sitting there with a group of dudes. And this is when I was doing the trap music still. And the group of dudes is like, so who are you? Because they're all talking business, and we're just sitting in the back, just, having a fucking bagel and just chilling, you know what I mean?
No doubt.
And I told the one dude, I was like, yeah, you're on Beatport, right? He's like, yeah, I'm the number one guy. I'm the number one right there. And he was like, oh, that's crazy. I managed number 2, 3, 4, and 5. We were wondering who the fuck the number one guy was. And it turned out that was Dimitri DeWitt from Black Hole Recordings, Tiesto's manager at the time. And Skip and Steve do business with those guys. So like I told the dude, I go,
piece of Skip.
I see Skip out there. And it's crazy because I was telling the dude, I go, keep watching though. Me and my guy right here, we're about to start a group called Gettoblaster. You're gonna hear about us, I promise you. And what happened? Dimitri hits me up in 2018. He was like, motherfucker. He was like, you told me I was gonna hear about you. And I decided to get back into dance music after taking a nice little hiatus. And bro, you're everywhere. You're on BBC Radio 1, you're on Patrick Topping's label, you're on Defected, you're on this, you're on that. I was like, yeah, man, I told you I'm going to do my shit. He was like, well, cool. I'm going to start managing again. So I'm hitting you up because I want to take you on. Now, sadly, the pandemic happened. And during the pandemic, rest in peace to Dimitri. He passed away during the pandemic. So we never really got a chance to go much further than like getting things started. And then he peaced out, sadly. We're really fucking great guy, though. Like that guy, like me and you have stories. That guy started Tiesto from day one all the way to the Olympics. So that guy's story, man, I sat in the airport with this guy one time. We talked for 10 straight hours about how that went down. Such a good guy.
Rest in power, brother. Want to give a shout out, Loco Cuts. What up? My new barber, Paul. He's dope. I had to leave Chicago barber. Now Loco be fading me up, killing it.
Listen, dog. Talking about barbers, bro. I was driving today. Me and Missy were driving down the street. I couldn't get in with my barber. And I saw a little barber sign. I go, pull over there. So I went to this hood-ass barber shop. And, bro, I couldn't even see the barber walking in. It was all smoky. I was like, what the fuck? I go, these dudes are just straight up blazing up in here.
Yeah.
I go, yo, man. I need to get faded up, man. He was like, I got you, man. Sit down. We started talking. The smoke cleared. I looked at my hair. I had a mohawk, and he gave me finger waves.
Oh, you with it? Were you with it? Were you like, yo, that's
yeah, for the afternoon, and then I had to go back to this, whatever. But it's all good. It's a tight fade though.
You always got style though, bro. I was looking at the videos. I got look right here on the computer. I got you and Zach right there with the I'm a House Gangster t-shirt. You're still rocking.
I'd fuck that guy. He's hot.
Yeah, I know that guy. Yo, so I want to touch back on something that you said earlier, and Missy's on too. Yeah. You guys had a major throwdown hit last year with HOUSC. Much props.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
As you and I know, we work together a lot.
Of course.
Last year, and we do a lot of the vocal stuff, which But tell me about the HOUSC. Tell me more about how big. I think people need to know how big this sucker hit. I mean, I think it was in the top 25 of all time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so according to the Beatport stats, this isn't opinion, this is just hardcore Beatport stats. It was the #2 biggest house record of 2029. It was the #1 original house tune because the number one was a remix. It wasn't an original. So we had the #1 house record of the year, and we had the #17 all genres on Beatport, like the number 17 biggest record of all of Beatport, which has put
all the time from Beatport from day one.
Well, no, from Beatport from day one, we're like, for house music, we're like number 22 biggest record of all time on Beatport, like all stats.
Let's just stop right there, bro. Stop right there. There is a bazillion records on Beatport. I have 2 pages on Beatport. One has Bear, one has Fuzzy Companies. What you just said, let's reiterate that. That is a big deal. Number 22 song of all time on Beatport.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Much props, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Some waves right now because that's some facts. That's data. Much love. So tell me more about that.
And what is also, there's also a website that watches Beatport that shows you the statistics. And actually, us and Missy were number 77 and 78 artists of all genres on Beatport right now for the last 12 months. We're in the top 100 biggest artists of the year.
You got the sound. What sound is it? What is it that when you and Zach sit down and we're like, okay, we're going to make a track, even with me. And I'm going to let all my fans know, when Gettoblaster and I work, I come with an idea, boom, 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 let's work it. Within 3 or 4 days, the track is done. And we've done some monsters ourselves.
Actually, like 3 or 4 hours. I just don't send it to you for 3 or 4 days because I don't want you thinking I didn't give it some love. I honestly don't spend longer than three hours on any track that I do.
Whoa.
And like literally, if I spend longer than 2 hours on something, it will be 1 more hour to polish it. And if it goes over 3 hours, I throw it away because I'm overthinking it at that point. Music is not meant to be complicated. It's meant to be easy to listen to because like when you're a listener, it's okay. You have your connoisseurs who like this noisy, moving music. I'm a dance floor guy. I don't make music to be the crazy artsy guy. I make the music so you can relate and dance and understand it on the dance floor because I was a dancer originally. I wasn't even a DJ at first. I became a DJ because I got tired of hearing the bullshit these guys were playing. So like that's why I learned how to DJ. And then eventually working at the record store, I got tired of having a hard time finding the sound that I wanted. So I had to start making music people forgot to make. Like a big thing that Gettoblaster is, and you'll hear this in the music. In the 90s, there was Relief Records, there was IHR, there was Moody, there was, then we kicked back to even Trax Records or DJ International, like some of these classic stuff. Like these are
You see music?
Yeah, you see, of course. You see, even After Hours label, all that stuff was like something that was just so in that time. And as music evolved, it was like, some of the hard house guys started making Euro music. The disco house guys either went super deep house or super electro. But there was this like in the fucking middle lane of tracks, Dance Mania, that just never kept going. The music kept going. People to this day are still playing Paul Johnson, rest in peace, and DJ Funk and DJ Dion records from 30 years ago, and there ain't nobody new doing it. So I was like, how do I do this? Even Sneak too. How do I do this, but put it back in the main room? Because if I remember correctly, Carlos's #1 complaint was they fucking pushed house music out of the main room. Well, put the motherfucker back in the main room. Give it a build up. Make it the house groove, but throw some fucking snare rolls in that bitch. That's what Gettoblaster is. It's the essence of what me and Zach grew up in the warehouse scene listening to, but with modern decorations. That's all it is.
So rolls, build-ups, longer. Okay. Because I can hear the Chicago, I'm hosting a party at Schwinn Hall or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where we grew up.
Or the warehouse or the
warehouse.
Club.
Right.
Yeah, and it's got the groove is supposed to be that. It's supposed to be underground construction, dance mania. It's supposed to be that because you're supposed to write your influences, right? That's what I'm doing. I'm writing my influences, but I got to give it some 2022 edge. And there we are.
And I see, I mean, I'm going to change subject just a tiny bit, but it's very related. The shows. Mm-hmm. You guys are everywhere. I think we spoke the other day where we're talking a little bit more about management and bookings and whatnot.
Sure.
You wound up booking yourself so many times. I mean, you guys are killing it on the road. Is the influence? Are you seeing more fans digging that sound that was an older sound, but with the rolls and the build-ups and whatnot? Do you think you have a slight advantage over the rest of these cuckoo birds because of the fact that you got that Chicago banging influence? Or
well, it just depends, which cuckoo birds we're talking about. So let's start with the classic Chicago guy. The old school guys are not going to get the 18 to 25-year-old look every time because it doesn't relate to the 80s music doesn't relate to what's going on. But then, because those guys won't support me because of the snare rolls and the big wind-ups, like some of them do, like Steve and Skip and a few other guys, they do. But the consensus of that sound, it's not true to the form. But how do you keep that form alive so an 18-year-old kid gets it? You know what I mean? That's really the big question. When I'm making music, I'm not over here, thinking about anything except for how do I do what I love, but make it so what's going on gets it. That's really all it is. And you can see on Beatport in the last year and a half, all the fucking big records are remakes of classic records. All the big records are all remakes. And a lot of people talk shit about that, but you got to remake shit in a way that people don't realize you're remaking it too. If you're going to remake it, don't mess up the integrity of the record. That's another thing. You know what I mean? But I try to pay a lot of respect to the legends, like even, and let's go back to Steve. I'm like, yo, man, like, let me flip Jack Your Body or the Word Is Love or Dion with Let Me Bang or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? I try to pay homage, license things, make sure everyone's getting their cut and giving the proper people respect. A lot of these kids that are covering things, they're not giving credit to the original artist. I want to do that. Like, I'm not trying to steal from the culture. I'm not trying to, have people think, oh, he's ripping me. No, I'm trying to include you. I'm trying to bring you part of this.
About that. Let's get into that a little bit, bro. Without mentioning any names, I don't put anybody on blast, but there's been situations that have arisen, and you and I have spoken about it.
Yeah.
That we were both like, whoa, we got to talk about this. You're a great friend of mine, and we smash it and talk about it all the time. So here's my question. When do people make that distinction of, hey, this guy's making some crazy records and he's out there versus hey, he's trying to steal from the culture? What is that all about? Like, I think it's very important for you to tell your story. Like, yo, we work together.
I've never even stole a pack of guns, so I don't know about the whole stealing shit. I couldn't even tell you, bro. Like, as far as angry, disgruntled people who aren't making music, there's that. You know what I mean?
And they hook up with you.
Yeah, and they get a career out of it, and then when they see me continuously going, and they're not doing anything outside of what we've done together, then they feel like they're left out. Well, make music, man. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? I'm not your only guy. I make music with a lot of people. I mean, as of today, looking at my storyboard over here, I probably have 16 collaborations with people right now.
As we speak.
Yeah, as we speak, I have a record with you. I have a remix for Kenny Summit. I have a collaboration with Andre Salmon. I got 2 with DJ Dion, 2 with DJ Funk. I've got 1 with Lucati. I've got 3 with MC Flipside. I've got 2 with Robert Armani. I've got a bunch of originals. I have a record coming out on Chris Lake's label coming up here in the next few months. I just did on March 25th, actually, for Miami on Black Book, which is like one of the biggest labels in the game. And okay. I just had a record on Repopulate Mars, which is the #1 house music label on Beatport right now, Lee Foss's label. I have I had another one on Have Bora's label that went #1 on New Year's Day. I have a remix for Claptone coming out on March 4th Clapton's like one of the biggest house names in the game right now. Like literally 4.8 million monthly listeners. Like, you know what I mean? So like,
Oh
and
yeah.
then I'm thinking I got a freaking 909 release, Marshall Jefferson's label. I got a lot of shit going on. I have
Yeah.
this is all things coming up. This is all things. Thank you.
Guys, come on, man. I think when flowers are due, I ain't trying to steal from Nori, because he's the man. But boy, when flowers are due, even in the house thing, when the house scene, they're due. And I think that you definitely deserve flowers, especially for me, my brother, because we've known each other since we were teenagers, and seeing you dancing, all that stuff, I remember, brother. So much props, much props. So what do you see as a successful trend right now that other people ain't doing? What's making Gettoblaster so fucking hot? Missy's on there right now. Missy got the flames going. You're included in that, Miss. You're included in that.
I'll be honest with you, man. I appreciate you saying those words, and I appreciate the bunch of people that do say that we're hot. I'm just doing what I love, and it just happens to be coming back to me. I don't know. I don't even consider it like I'm successful. I put almost every dollar I make right back into this shit. So like today, you know, nice paycheck today. Cool. I fucking bought stickers for the label. I paid for some remixes. I got the marketing lined up. I mean, at the end of the day, what, I get to buy a pair of shoes and a hat? Cool. You know what I mean? A gold chain? Cool. I ain't in this to get rich, man. I'm putting it back because I want to have a bigger picture at the end of the day. So I believe in myself. Zach believes in us. Zach says hello. He apologizes he can't be here. He's got some things going on. He wasn't able to make this today, but it's all good.
Zach, the other half of Gettoblaster, my other homeboy.
Hell yeah. But, you know, like, we put all our money back into this, man. We cash out a little bit, but, like, I don't know. To me, it's not about the success. I'm just putting out music that I want to play because I can't seem to buy that kind of music on Beatport all the time. So I make the music I want to play. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Dude, yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Beatport,
yeah.
Speaking of all these new genres, I think that sometimes now the flavors can get lost because, oh, you're spinning this kind of thing, you're spinning that, you're spinning this, you're spinning this. Do you listen to that? Do you pay attention to that? Or do you just like, yo, I'm just doing me, brother, and it is what it is?
I mean, bro, I know inside and out every hot dude in the game. I know every record that comes out. Bad Boy Bill makes fun of me. He was like, bro, I don't know anybody that knows the industry better than you do because I actually go out of my way to know all the music. I spend $200 a week on music outside of my own. I literally buy a shit ton of music. I collect music because I love it. I love this whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
So I literally buy everybody's records. I know who's hot, who's not. I like the culture. Bro, how many times have you seen me? I jump in music, thumbing through records. I'd be that quiet dude in the back just going through. I'm like, oh, I found that gem. You know, I collect music. That will never change about me. You know what I mean? So I do me, but I also figure out a way to do me and know everything in the game. I want to know who my competitors are, who my allies are, who's making music like me, who's making their own thing. I want to know all. I want to know it all.
So basically, you're like me, growing up in this. You it's just more than just DJing. You're an actual member of this culture.
I'm addicted to it.
Passion.
I'm addicted to it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, shit. We both are. I mean, it's been, a long time for the both of us. Tell me a little bit more about the gigging scenario. Like, I want people to know that you're just not sitting back and going, yo, when my next gig's coming.
Yeah, no, last year we started playing at the end of May, and in 7 months we did 79 shows.
7 months, 79 shows.
Yes.
And that was still during COVID.
And I fucking dodged COVID until my 80th show. My 80th show on New Year's Eve, I got COVID. So triple vax though, so it's all good. Like I got all three Pfizers. I still managed to get COVID, but I don't want to go too far into COVID because it's such a fucking black hole over our industry. I don't even want to talk about it, but I will tell you though, once you get all vaccinated, like you operate a little more freely, and I'm sure I had my guard down. You know what I mean? But point being is we're still in this shit, so you got to be careful, But
yeah. Sure. You talked a little bit about Miami.
Yes, I will be there.
The name Miami come up.
Yeah.
With Chris Lake, with your new release. Is there going to be Gettoblaster this year in Miami?
Yeah, for sure. We definitely got a Friday and Saturday show. Neither one are announced yet, so I can't talk about those. But hopefully, some more things will pop up between now and then. But definitely a Friday and Saturday showcase. So
So Friday Saturday showcase.
for
What
sure,
are the,
100%.
what are some other? I mean, you guys are gigging.
Yeah.
You could see it on other live shows and streams that the crowd is just. You guys did a couple of shows. What are we expecting this season, this summer coming up from you
We have
guys?
we have we have a few announcements that happened. We're definitely playing North Coast Festival on the main stage in August in Chicago
Oh,
on the Friday night, and then
maybe.
we're also playing Saturday in Tampa during Memorial Day weekend for Sunset Music Festival. Disco Donnie presents, so we're doing that festival as well, and then a whole bunch of one-off dates too coming up. Like this next weekend, we're going to be on Thursday. We'll be in Santa Barbara. Friday we'll be in LA. Saturday we'll be in San Diego. And we started a new record label called Aliens on Mushrooms, and we're starting to showcase parties all over the place. Like in the hometown area where we're at, we have a quarterly at TV Lounge in Detroit. We have our Las Vegas residency at Disco Pussy in the Fremont. So we just did a Aliens on Mushrooms New Year's Eve party. We're going to be back there in March sometime. Um, and now we're hosting an Aliens on Mushrooms San Diego takeover in the Giant Warehouse with us, Roland Clark, Harvard Bass, and Franklin Watts. We just did a record with Roland Clark right now, which is also the guy, what is what they just strut. What the fuck, that guy? I go deep, I go deep. We just did a record with him. It was the label launch release called Make Life Funky, which two of the tracks hit the top 100. All three are brilliant. Ours is an original it's an acid house tune with Roland. The remixes came from Inner City, Kevin Saunderson and Dantes, legends out of Detroit. And then we also had remixes from French duo Amin Edge and Dance. So that was the first release. The second one is us and my boy Love and Logic with
Of course.
a vocalist called Born Eye from East Coast. And we got remixes from Harry Romero. And then,
Choo choo.
yeah. And directly after that, this is all on our new label, Aliens on Mushrooms. And the
So
third
we
release.
also have Jack.
Yeah, I also have Weejack too. And then the
Oh,
third
this
release.
no big deal. This is no big deal.
Yeah. I think we put out 60 releases on Weejack last year. It's kind of turned into Weejack has everybody from DJ Funk to bro, like all the classic dude, Ron Carroll, Steve Hurley, Skip. And then it's also got like all the relevant dudes going on now too. And then we also got Dion on there. And we've been priding ourselves in finding the next sound. This last year, we put out a lot of newer guys that are just murking the game, bro. Like a bunch of great dudes, and chicks too. We have a couple chicks too on the label. We try to put everyone on the label. We want good music. It doesn't have anything to do with color, sex, gender, like none of that. It's just if it's a good house record and I'll play it religiously, I'll sign it. I don't care how big you are, how small you are. Like good music's good music. I don't care.
You mentioned a name that we both hold dear in our careers. BBB.
Oh, Bill, yeah.
Bad Boy Bill. What is the relationship like? How far? I mean, people don't know how incredible Bill is and what a mentor and what an energy the cat is. I know you mentioned it. And you mentioned even when we were talking a lot, you mentioned Bill just like as much as I do. That's a dude that deserves his flowers.
Of course.
How has Bill influenced you, man?
I mean, he was the second DJ I ever heard of in my entire life. So first one was Farley Jackmaster Funk, and right after him on the same radio show was Bad Boy Bill. So to me, these guys are my day oneers. Like they're the guys who, when I was in my dad's car going to get lottery tickets in Illinois from Indiana, my dad said, "Put what you want on the radio. I turn this shit on. I hear these guys." You know what I mean?
Yep, I know.
That's what I was hearing. So it holds a big part of my heart. Like the music, the influence. Like, I mean, dude, you lived in the same city I did. Bill is just a huge influence on the entire city. He was the biggest radio DJ ever to come out of Chicago, and then to become friends with him later in life. And then for him hitting me up one night at 3 o'clock in the morning when I was living in Denver, sending me a text being like, yo, are you Gettoblaster? And I was like, did I sample something of yours? Are you going to yell at me or what's the deal? And he was like, no, call me. And I called him and he was like, you want to do a record together? I was like, yeah, sure. He's like, cool, I'll buy you a plane ticket. When do you want to come? And he bought me a plane ticket to come to his studio. And I was like, holy fuck. Dude, you can even ask CZR. I was laughing. I go, should I do this? He's like, fuck yeah, you should do it. Why shouldn't you do it? I'm like, I don't know. It's like the dude I looked up to my whole life. Like, it's a little weird that, like, now he wants me to make a record with him. That's, to me, that's strange. You know what I mean? Like, same thing with Farley. Like, when I was doing Electro, me and ZXX did that bootleg of Lil Wayne's and Millie. Dude, somehow Farley got my address and knocked on my door. And I was like, open the door. I'm like, holy shit, what are you doing here? He was like, you make that Lil Wayne bootleg? He goes, man, my kid won't stop fucking listening to that. Let's make a record, bro. I got Farley Jackmaster Funk in my door. I'm like, that's crazy. You know, so to me, it's like really weird. You know what I mean? It's cool. It's cool, but it's an honor because I told these guys, I'm like, man, like, it's crazy to be in the room with you. And in fact, Bill, when me and Bill work, I make him leave the room sometimes. I'm like, yo, you got to leave. I go, I can't be creative with you staring at me. You know what I mean? So then he'll come back.
Do you see a major change and shift in, I know you're a big Spotify guy.
Yeah.
I remember 2 years ago, you're like, Bear, watch this. My goal is to get it to this number. At the end of the year, you hit that number.
It was crazy, bro. I hit it 2 months early. I was shocked.
I remember when you're like, yo, watch this. And sure enough, Spotify's been under a little scrutiny lately. A couple of big artists have pulled their music. Do you see that affecting dance music at all? Do you think that that's something that you would even consider? You know, how does that play into what we do?
Bro, anybody who complains about Spotify don't even get the game. Like, it's a fucking store, bro. And the people who complain they don't get money from Spotify, well, you don't stream as big as the other people. That's why you don't get no money from Spotify. No offense to anybody, but like, all these people who are like, I need to get real money from Spotify. Well, let me ask you this. How much money are you entitled to from Spotify? Because here's the thing. I go to a store and I see a Bear Who CD, right? I go buy it, right? $16. After the label takes their money, after the manufacturing's paid, after this and that, you take home what, $5, $6 for that one sale? Let me ask you this. How much is it worth to you for me just to listen to your song once and give it back? I don't own it. You're leasing music for 3 minutes, bro. Like people can't complain that they're not getting paid on that because most people don't even realize that people are recording their music and putting it on YouTube and they're not getting any money from that. So point being is it's going to stream. At least you're getting something. It may be a fraction of a penny, but let me tell you how easy it is to get 1 million plays. Market yourself. And then once you get 1 million plays, oh, guess what? Ching, you get $5,000, bro. You get 2 million plays, oh, you get 10 grand. You get 35 million plays. Anybody, you're friends with a lot of really famous people. You ask Armand what his check's like from Spotify. He ain't complaining. I'm just saying, we're talking about guys with 70, 80 million plays on Spotify. And people got to understand though, like, oh, but you know, they pay a fraction of a penny. But when you're looking at the bus stop, you're at the bus stop. You see the kid with an earbud in, right? You think this dude's buying music on Beatport? You think he's buying it? So you think he got a Walkman on him? No, he's on Spotify streaming. And to market to that is super easy. Some people would think it's hard. You just got to find your demographic and put that banner up there so they see it, whether it's the bus stop, whether it's a website, whatever it is. You got to learn how to market your music to the people who like your shit. And those plays add up real quick. You get in a playlist, it's played every day. Like I was number 2 on the Spotify curated list, Housework. It's got 1.7 million listeners. I was number 2 for like, I don't know, 2 months. Bro, I accumulated 700,000 plays because my record was number 2 on this playlist. Like, learn how to get your playlist popular and then, or get on a popular place, solicit yourself. Most of the people complaining, they've never written a letter to Spotify saying, hey, I would like you to consider this for your playlist. Take the time out and advertise your music. You want to make money on your music? Well, market it. No one else is going to do that for you. You do that. You know
How
what I
does
mean?
how does that correlate when it comes to aliens on mushrooms and their artists, or and the artists that you're signing? Are they also finding that formula? Are they following it? Is that something that you look for to help you with your own artists, or?
I give people advice on how to do it, whether they want to take the advice or not, that's on them. But every time I have a release come up on the back end of Spotify, I secured my page to get my little check mark. I go to the back end of it and it says, you have a release coming in 2 weeks. Would you like to pitch? Fill out the fucking form. They give you a form. You don't even have to find the email. You just fill out the form. This is my record. This is the genre it classifies. This is what it is. And this is a little bit about, you know, if I were to give anyone any advice on how to pitch, let's do that, because that's a better thing. I can
Okay.
sit here,
Well, let's.
I can sit here and talk shit about no one pitching, but let's talk about the magic words, how to pitch. So when you're pitching, do you want to tell one website that the other website said you're number one? You would think, oh yeah, I'm number one on Beatport right now with this record. They don't give a fuck about the other website. Say, hey, I'm playing North Coast Festival. I'm playing Spring Awakening. I'm playing in LA, New York, Dallas, Miami coming up, where I showcase my music. They want to know that you're in different cities, man. They don't care about what you're selling on another website. You want to show that your music is getting played by this guy, or it's been on this radio show, it's been featured in DJ Mag. They want to know about what your record's doing or what you're doing, not what it's selling on another site. So pitch it in a way that you want them to feature you, because you're trying to sell yourself to a website to get featured, just like anything else. If you owned a website, I'd have to figure out the key things to tell you to want you to feature it, right?
Correct.
And then you end up in a Spotify curated playlist, 200,000 to 1 million. Bro, every time they click on, you're the second song. Fuck, it's that's how Spotify works, is getting on playlist or do it. And I started early. So like last year, me and Zach decided to start our own We Jack playlist. We have like 2,900 followers on our playlist. If we keep growing at the rate that we did, next year we'll be at 5,000. The year after we'll be at 10,000. As long as we keep doubling every year, eventually we'll have 100,000 people who listen to our playlist that we update weekly, and you can get plays off being on my playlist. I actually have a little email up there saying, if you want your music featured on my playlist, submit demo here. And I let people submit me demos of their music. Maybe one of my listeners will listen to their shit, you know?
Interesting. So it's mathematical. It's
Yeah.
also you got to study. Like, I mean, without the blessing that I have is being around so many people, like you said, that I've known for years, and yourself.
Yeah.
If I sit back and I watch all this, I'm involved in it, obviously, because I have music with everybody. So it's interesting to see the formulas people use. And one thing that I will say about not only you studying it, you studying the game and understanding how it works, is you use that as well to get more gigs.
100%. You know what's a funny thing? Not to veer off of the Spotify thing, but let's talk about. I remember when I first started doing promo service. I remember I had friends tell me, he's like, I paid for a service to take down any pirated versions of my record. I'm like, dude, you're putting your energy in the wrong place. Like, what do you mean? I go, bro, I leaked my music on SoulSeek 2 weeks before it comes out personally. What do you mean? I go, I want every motherfucker to have my record. I don't care how they get it. I don't care if they pay for it, this or that. Because I'll tell you what, you'll get the licensing on a commercial regardless if you sell your record. You will get Spotify plays if people on Spotify want to listen to your record. If you're going to sell it on Beatport, people who buy music on Beatport don't buy music anywhere else. People who buy music on Tracksource don't buy music anywhere else. So like people who go on SoulSeek for free downloads, they don't go anywhere else. So I want to be on every fucking platform that house music is. Amazon. Like, I'll be honest with you. If you want to be a real cheap ass about music, you can get Amazon fucking downloads for 99 cents. You don't want to pay $1.50 a Beatport, go to Amazon. It's 99 cents. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, to me, being an artist, I'd rather my music be everywhere. And there's something that people don't know about WeJack. Every record that comes out on WeJack goes on SoundCloud. I don't advertise this, but you can hit the drop down feature. It's a free download. You can have the wave. I don't give a fuck if you buy my record or not. I want you to have it because you might be that poor college kid who is scraping by and just being able to buy food, and that's it. You can't buy music, but does that mean you shouldn't have my record? No, I want you to have my record. Go download it for free, bro. I don't give a fuck. Take my records. I want you to have them. That's the only way I'm going to play in your city for $5,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Moving forward, we're in 2022. You said COVID had a dark impact, was a big cloud. How did you manage, bro? How were you able to maintain? Well, I know you were able to do a lot of music, but how were you able to maintain?
Because I'm from Chicago. I'm a hustler, bro. That's why.
That's it. That's it. I don't
Dude,
know
what's there to say, man? I was engineering for people. I was mastering for people. I was doing remix work. I was doing live streams, getting tipped. I was making money, man. And I stacked a bunch of paper. Like you said, I tour all the time. So I put a bunch of money away, too. So I was able to survive for at least 6 months before I had to really think about what am I going to do.
Right. And it gave you another avenue to make some more music.
Yeah, I made music, made some collaborations. I did some engineering from some people, like some people who are just vocalists that don't make beats. Because the one thing a lot of people talk shit about in this game, too, is, oh, ghostwriter, ghost this, ghost that. Bro, like, does anyone talk about Justin Bieber fucking, oh, he's got a ghostwriter? No, he's a vocalist. He doesn't write beats. Like, people forget that there's vocalists who don't write beats. There's nothing wrong with purchasing beats or paying someone to engineer the beats to your music. Think about all the freestyle singers out there, you know what I mean, that had vocals on tracks, but they didn't know how to make the beats. They paid Louis Vega to make the beats, and he got a piece of the publishing and got paid to do the fucking beats. So there's nothing wrong with that either. A lot of people in the dance music industry are like, oh, he's got a ghostwriter. You're fucking stupid, bro. Like, so what? Every hip-hop artist you ever sang the song to had a hip-hop beat maker. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Very, very few musicians, very few vocalists are also beat writers.
Yeah, some of us are.
Some are.
You know.
And like me, I'm a real terrible vocalist. You know what I mean? I'm okay, but like I get the idea. Like I know how to do the vocals on things, but like I work with people like you or Missy, or I even got Steve to do vocals. You know what I mean? Like I try to work with people who are good at what they do. Like I feel like that's something that took me a long time to understand in business, was like, I tried to do everything. I tried to be the guy who was like, let's be the marketing guy, let's be the designer, let's be this. I ain't got time for all that. Let's hire the guy who's good at this and good at that and good at this, and make them do what they're good at. Like I don't master and mix down my music. I get a general idea of my mixed down music, but I send it out to someone who's really good at that. You know what I mean? But I have to prep it to where it's workable. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm the same way. I get it to where that's just what this is.
Yeah. Pre-production studio, man.
The temple. The temple, we get it busy here, whether it's, hey, Bear, I got these beats, I want some vocals from you, or I'm here making my own beats or remixes for whatever. A lot of times you'll see a Bear Who record featuring fuzzy cufflinks.
Yeah.
So I know that I do both. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me ask you a question, though. The DJing thing. I like to go with it. I went with this. I'm gonna spark up because this is gonna be a deep one right here.
Yeah, for sure.
Last week, I had Steve on the show. You were on the show too. You were
sure.
You jumped on to say what up.
Yeah.
Majority of my friends, brother, you included, we're some bad motherfucking DJ. I mean, we get it in. And I asked this before too. Do you see that less and less now, where it's more of a
Mitch Dodge in the house. What up?
Mitch Dodge is in the house. Geo Sands, Logan Square is in the house. We got a couple of celebrities in here, man. We're just talking, and I see the ears, of course. I see the hearts. I see all the love. Some alien.
I'm doing something with Mitch too. Mitch is in San Diego. I get to hang out with him next week when I play out there. One of the dopest producers in the game, in my opinion, one of the most underrated producers in the game. Really fucking good. Like,
Mitch? What's up, Mitch? What's good, brother?
And Mitch, honestly, bro, I hope your music doesn't blow up, so they're my secret weapons for the rest of my life. No, I want you to blow up.
We gotta hold Mitch down. Mitch,
yeah,
you gotta hold him down, bro.
Yeah, no, he's dope, man. I love his records though, for real.
But getting back to the DJ thing, man. You know, I always say I'm a DJ first. I'm a DJ that loves to rock the mic. Something, a gift that God gave me. I personally see less and less DJ. Like I was watching you and Zach live. Sheba signs up there. He's like, oh, the good DJ Gettoblaster. And so I was listening. I was looking at the stream, and I saw that stream before. But you know, you get it in, brother. The effects, like you do not leave that mixer and those decks alone. And that's how I was raised and born the same way. But do you see that less and less? Because I'm looking at these, you know, these Tulum streams and these festival streams. Motherfuckers ain't touching the decks. They're singing the songs. They got their hands up. That's all good, I guess. But
yeah, some people do. Some people like Shibasad's one of those guys too. You wouldn't even know that guy was a turntablist until you play with him. Like last week, I mean, he rocks it as a DJ too. We played in Detroit at Magic Stick, and I know he scratches, and he tends to scratch when we hang out. And at the very end of his set, he was like, and he looks back at me, he's like, "Want to come scratch?" And I was like, "Sure." So I was like, scratching with my elbow, turning around, scratch behind my back. And I gassed him up, bro, because he's actually a DMC champion. That dude's really good. He fucking cut the music off and did a 30-second routine. Dude, like, blew the crowd away. But it was fun. Like, he invited me in to go back-to-back with him, a little scratch off. It was pretty dope.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Sheba. I've been telling Sheba, yo, man, are you coming to my house or what? Because he doesn't live too far. And he's like, yeah, one day, man, but we haven't connected. But hopefully I'll get him here when you guys are here from Miami. You guys come over here, we can chill a little bit, man, so you can see the studio and whatnot. You mentioned Sheba sign, you mentioned the DJ thing, the scratching thing.
But yeah, there's not a lot of DJs that are technical like that anymore. I mean, there is, but like I would seem to think that, well, I'd like to hope to believe that there's a lot of producer DJs out there that are really out there showcasing their music more than anything. They're not focused on the art of DJing. They're focused on, and that's the thing. That's the approach that's different with me and Zach. We were both DJs before we were producers. The only reason I made records is because Paul Johnson told me that's the only way to get booked in Europe. He's like, bro, you're from Chicago, man. He goes, you don't even have to make good records. You could just make bullshit records and you'll play in Europe. Trust me.
He would say some shit like that, wouldn't he?
Hell yeah. He goes, bro, you can make any kind of track as long as it's decent and you play it. He's like, bro, you'll get booked in Europe. Just do it. And sure as shit, he's right.
Was that a goal of yours, bro? Was that a goal like Europe? I mean, all of us coming up. Because I got lucky working at Gramophone early on and then hip house later on. Because what ended up happening, like how I got to Europe first, a little different than most people. Like I told you, the mixtape era. Like I was doing mixtapes. Shit, I just happened to be cleaning my office, and look what I found. No shit.
I sold 20,000 copies of this. I tattooed it to my arm, bro, right there.
You got the Weed Jack tattoo too, right?
Yeah. Weed Jack's here. I got the Dirty Bird tattoo because no one. I don't know if you can see that shit. Like the Dirty Bird tattoo, the Weed Jack tattoo, House Music is a Way of Life tattoo. I mean, you're all tatted up too, but whatever.
Yeah,
Point being though, the mixtape though. This is how I got myself booked in Europe the first time. There was a bunch of people who were DJs that ended up overseas, you know, in the military, stationed over there, throwing parties. And there was one dude who would do mail orders. And he would call a hip house looking for Carlos Sosa that used to sell him records on the phone. When Carlos wasn't there anymore, I was there. So I was selling him records from Chicago to go to Germany. And I would stick in a mixtape, bro. I would stick a mixtape into every mail order bag. And randomly, dude hit me up. Was like, hey, man, I want to bring you to Germany. That's how I got to Europe, bro. I played Italy like that. I played Germany like that. And then Bulgaria like that. And that's how I played. People were buying records at the stores, and I was sneaking in tapes. So my tapes actually got me to Europe before my records did. So I was on that mixtape hustle hardcore because no one in the rave scene really was doing that. You know what I mean? Like that was the Chicago like ghetto house thing.
The rave scene in Chicago, now that you mention it, dude, you were part of that. I mean, the rave scene in Chicago is legendary, and I just want to talk about that. We got about 5 more minutes, and I want to, because there's so much we could talk about. But the rave scene, first of all, you went to hip house, Gramophone, jumping music. Those were all our record stores. Super Dance in the Suburbs. Hot Jams on the South Side.
I worked there too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, much props to all that because those were our homes. You know, I was Jumping Music Cat. Then I opened my own little spot for a while. Then I was the gramophone, you know, there for a while too before I went to construction and after hours.
Yeah.
But the rave scene was through the record stores. I don't care what anybody says because I live that shit. The flyers every weekend. You know,
that's where you got your pre-sale tickets. That's where you got your pre-sale tickets.
There.
Yeah, that's where you got your
over there. Derek Carter was over there.
That's where you got your pre-sale tickets.
Yeah, exactly. Like you go to
that's how I got involved. I was working at the record stores.
That's come kick it. That's the story I want.
Bro, I was a hustler. I told the promoters that I go. It goes like this, bro. I go, either you can book me for your rave, or when you walk out that door, I'm taking all your fucking flyers and I'm throwing them in the garbage. It's on you. I was hardcore with it. I didn't give a fuck. And I go, and in fact, if you book me for your show, look at this. Customer walks up and says, I'll take these 3 records. I ring it up, and I stuck the dude's flyer in the bag. I go, oh, you can put them in bags if you book me. I go, the second you walk out, though, that shit's going in the garbage if you don't book me. It's on you, dude. Well, you tell me what you want to do. And all of a sudden, I started getting booked for parties. And you know how I got around not getting paid at some of these parties? I call Louis Barrow up. I'm like, hey, bro. I go, I got your pre-sale tickets. You want me to bring the fucking 3Gs or what? Yeah, bring it. I go, cool. I'm going to take my money out, though, okay? All right, cool. Yeah.
We handled it.
So I'd be the first paid.
Tell me, and I know the answers to this because we only got a couple more minutes. Tell me some of the Chicago DJs you've been on flyers with, bro. I think people need to know before all the new stuff. But let's go there real quick.
Chicago or worldwide?
No, I'm talking about Chicago, bro.
Just in Chicago, like the people that you want me to tell you about Chicago people, or people I was on flyers with in Chicago. Because like in Chicago, I was on all the Live on the Deck shows. I played with your boy Armand Van Helden. I played with Richie Houghton. I played with Hard Floor. I played with fucking Tiesto. I played with Oakenfold. Dude, I played with A-Track when he was 16. We booked him for the Live on the Decks when we had Armand, Rab in the Moon, and KRS-One. We had the triple threat. It was Shortcut and Vin Rock and A-Track. A-Track was fucking 16 with his dad at the fucking gig because he couldn't come by himself.
Wow, check that shit.
A-Track don't even know that. When we sit in the room together, I'm like, bro, I booked you at the convention center in Chicago. You were 16 as triple threat. He's going to be, get the fuck out. He's going to trip when I tell him that. I've never told him that face to face.
Well, hopefully we'll have a shot to do that in a couple of days when everybody's here for.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell people, listen, we've always done Winter Music Conference, blah, blah, blah. This is one. This is a Miami Music Week. If you're in the industry, this is one to miss.
You're gonna have to adjust that flyer and add Gettoblaster to that Wednesday party.
Oh yeah, that Wednesday party. Just so everybody knows, Colette. I haven't seen Colette and Heather in about 2 years.
I saw both of them at the Chicago House Music Festival. Randomly. I did not expect to see them. I got to see them. It was so cool to see people I haven't seen in a couple years.
So are you going to be here on that Wednesday? Do you get here on Wednesday or are you going to be here on Tuesday?
Bro, I'll make it there on Wednesday. It's all good. I'll be there.
So let's see what's going to happen with Gettoblaster. Maybe we have that surprise, from
Let's go.
Mr. Paul Anthony. You never know.
Let's go. I'll even get the finger waves. It'll be all good.
Get the finger waves? Hopefully I'll get my barber local cuss to come out. You got to see this cat. This guy is just something else, man.
Maybe I can even do little miniature cornrows.
I think it's time for a little face tattoo, Paul. What you think?
Oh shit! I got to make a little bit more money so I know for sure I'll never have to have a job.
That is hilarious. Now, you and Zach, you guys got any albums, any LPs, anything that's that Gettoblaster related that is going to be just an album? Because I'm still an old school. I love albums. I love to sit down, smoke, and just listen to the whole album.
So with the COVID that happened and the year and a half that we didn't have any gigs, we wrote 170 tracks. So I definitely have enough music for an album, 10 times over. Narrowing it down to 13 is damn near impossible. But we may. It's on the talks. Right now we were like, all right, when's the perfect time to release an album? Because we want to do it on Aliens on Mushrooms. We have an idea for for the artwork, we have someone drawing it. Basically, it's a spaceship that has like a light beaming down. And it's in the shape of a mushroom, so it's a mushroom spaceship, and it's beaming up a bunch of aliens.
Uh-oh.
So it's going to be pretty hardcore like drawing, but we want to call it something about we're here or we're real or we're alive. Something that's got to go along with the aliens thing. Which I want to show you something real quick. Hold up, let me grab you something real quick before we go.
Uh-oh. Here it comes, an exclusive, y'all. This is what Bochinche Sessions is all about.
Yeah, so we
with the homies. Oh, that one is tight. Tight.
So you can go to our Bandcamp right now, Gettoblaster Bandcamp, and you can order the shirt. That's the back. That's the front.
All right, guys. Bandcamp, Gettoblaster. You guys got to go and get that merch.
Yeah, we got exclusive music over there too that you cannot find anywhere else. So yeah, we're gonna really up our merch this year, because the one last thing I want to tell you about is, so the music. Why I said I don't give a shit if people actually buy it or not and they download it for free, is because we're gonna start shifting our whole idea into more of a lifestyle brand. We're gonna be parties. We're gonna be clothing more than we are a record label. The record label is just an advertisement to catch you into our clothing line. Like, we're gonna start releasing a bunch of cool hats, clothes, pants, shirts. We're gonna really go into that. You know what I mean? As far as the merchandising. So
love it.
That's where we're headed to right now, because we have a good eye for fashion. We want to make sure that we kind of put that in with our clothing line, and we want to make sure that that we're advertising that. So that's what the parties are going to gear towards. That's where the music's going to gear towards. I want you to play my music. I'm like, man, I want that shirt. You know what I mean? So
sure. Ladies and gentlemen, Gettoblaster. I just want to say thank you, everybody. Much love to Paul Anthony. We've been friends for a long time, and I consider him a close friend and just an amazing talent, bro. Thank you so much for spending some time here on the Bochinche Sessions with me. Next week, I have, believe it or not, Harv Roman.
Nice.
That's a story in itself, man. Missy, I want to say thank you for hanging on. Zach, we got to get you on here next time. Everybody, nice round of applause for my homeboy Gettoblaster.
I gotta be honest with you too. When you asked me to do the show, I was like, fuck, 1 hour for me and you. Me and you can't even talk for 1 hour on the phone, let alone like a situation like this.
I knew we would.
There's too much. Right now, I was looking at the clock. I was like, fuck, bro, it's already been 47 minutes and we were still on the first subject.
Love you, brother. Thank you so much. I will see you in a couple weeks. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We have too many people to thank that were on here. But I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Brother, love you. Let's talk tomorrow, and I'll see you in a couple days.
Yeah, for sure, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Guys, thank you for tuning in to the Bochinche Sessions. Bear Who. I'm out. Later, guys. Fun.